The garage door rumbles open, and before your foot even touches the driveway, you hear it. That frantic scramble of paws on the kitchen floor. You open the door, and there he is. Your dog, tail going like a helicopter, whole body wiggling, and then it happens. That warm, wet tongue on your hand, your wrist, your chin if he can reach it. You laugh, you push him back a little. Okay, I missed you too, buddy. But then it keeps going, and going. He licks your hands after dinner. He licks your arm while you're watching TV. He licks your feet, the second you take your socks off. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a small, quiet question starts to form. Is this normal? Is he trying to tell me something? Is this love, or is something wrong? Maybe you've even caught yourself pulling your hand away, feeling a tiny flash of guilt for it. Maybe a friend told you, oh, that means he's anxious. And now you can't stop worrying. The confusion is real, because nobody actually sat you down and explained what that licking really means. And that stops today. I get it, my friends. I really do. You love this dog with your whole heart, and all you want is to understand him, to speak his language just a little bit better. But here's what makes me so frustrated as a veterinarian. There is a whole industry out there that wants you confused. Expensive behaviorists charging you $300 an hour to tell you things you could learn for free. Anti-lick sprays loaded with bitter chemicals you're spraying onto your own skin and your dog's coat. Training gadgets, shock collars, calming gimmicks, all designed to shut down a behavior that, in most cases, is one of the most beautiful things your dog does. But what if I told you that the real reason your dog licks you isn't a problem to be fixed at all? What if I told you that hidden inside that simple, slobbery little habit is a complete map of your dog's heart, his health, and his history going back thousands of years, and that once you understand it, you'll be able to read your dog like an open book, spot real trouble early, and deepen your bond in ways most pet parents never do. And the best part? You don't need to spend a single dollar. Everything you need is already right there in your living room, in your daily routine, and in the way you already touch and talk to your best friend. If you saw the thumbnail of this video, you saw the promise. That tongue isn't random. It's a message, and by the end of this masterclass, you're going to know exactly how to decode it. The love, the stress signals, the medical red flags, and the simple things you can do tonight to respond the right way. No fancy tools, no expensive consultations. Just you, your dog, and the truth. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. You know, just last week, a wonderful woman named Carol brought her golden retriever, Biscuit, into my clinic. She sat down, looked at me with these worried eyes, and said, Dr. Tony, Biscuit won't stop licking me. My husband says it's gross. My sister says it's separation anxiety. Am I a bad dog mom? And my heart just melted. Because here was a woman so full of love, so worried she was doing something wrong, when in reality, she was doing almost everything right, just didn't have the information. And here's the statistic that stops me every time. Studies on canine behavior suggest that the majority of dog owners, some surveys put it as high as 7 out of 10, completely misread their dog's licking. They either dismiss it entirely, or they panic about it, and in doing so, they miss the real signal underneath. And in a smaller but very important number of cases, that licking is the first and only warning sign of a real medical problem. A bad tooth, a stomach issue, an allergy, or even the early edge of anxiety that gets ignored until it becomes serious and expensive. 7 out of 10. That means most of the people watching this right now are misreading their best friend. But not you. Not after today. Because today, this is a complete masterclass on why dogs lick their owners. The real psychology, the real science, and the real medicine behind it. We're going to walk through this together, step by step. First, we'll uncover the ancient, hardwired reason licking exists in the first place, the root of it all. Then we'll decode the emotional messages, love, submission, and the surprising role of taste. After that, we'll get into the stress and anxiety signals, so you can tell the happy licks from the worried ones. Then, and this one is critical, we'll cover the medical red flags, the moment licking stops being sweet and starts being a symptom. And finally, we'll put it all together into a simple, real-life plan you can use starting tonight. So do me a favor, grab a pen and a notebook, because some of these details you are going to want to write down. And if you find this helpful even in the first 2 minutes, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it helps me protect more pets just like yours. All right, let's dive in. Let's start at the very beginning. Chapter 1. The ancient root of the lick. Where this all comes from. Because to understand why your dog licks your face today, on your couch, in your climate-controlled living room, we have to travel back thousands of years. But what if the answer isn't about you at all? At least, not at first. What if it's written into your dog's DNA from a time long before couches existed? Here's the simple science. When puppies are born, they are blind, deaf, and completely helpless. And one of the very first things they experience in this world is their mother's tongue. She licks them to clean them, to stimulate them to breathe, to keep them warm and safe. Licking, from the first moments of life, is bonding. It's survival. It's love made physical. And it goes further. In the wild, when wolf pups are old enough, they lick around their mother's mouth, right at the corners of her lips. And this actually triggers her to bring up food to feed them. We call this care-soliciting behavior. In plain English, it means I love you, I trust you, and please take care of me. It's built in, it's ancient, and your fluffy little dog on the couch carries that exact same wiring inside him. So here's the beautiful part. When your dog licks your face, especially around your mouth and chin, he is very often running that same ancient program. He's not being gross. He's greeting you the way his ancestors greeted the members of their pack that they loved and depended on. He is quite literally telling you, in the oldest language dogs have, that you are family. Now, how do you respond to this the right way? You don't need to buy anything. When your dog gives you those soft, gentle greeting licks, respond with calm, warm energy. Speak in a low, happy voice. Offer a few slow strokes down his back, or a gentle scratch on the chest. Keep it to about 10 or 15 seconds of calm attention, and then gently redirect if you've had enough, because you're allowed to have limits, and I'll get to that. The point is, you're answering his ancient message in a language he understands. I hear you. You're safe. You're loved. But here's my first vet warning of this video, and please write this one down. Do not let your dog lick open wounds, cuts, or fresh surgical incisions. Not yours, and not his own. I know you've heard the old myth that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's. It is not true. A dog's mouth is full of bacteria, including some strains that can cause serious infections in people, especially anyone with a weakened immune system, the very young, or the elderly. And when a dog obsessively licks his own wound, he can tear it open and introduce infection fast. Loving greeting licks on healthy, intact skin? Beautiful. Licking wounds? That's where we draw the line. Okay, so we know where it comes from, but that's only the foundation. This brings me to Chapter 2, the emotional messages hidden in every lick. Because here's the thing, not every lick means the same thing. But what if you could tell the difference? What if you could actually read the emotion behind it? Let's decode it together. The first and most common message is exactly what you hope it is: affection and bonding. When your dog licks you, his brain releases feel-good chemicals, including one called oxytocin, which is often nicknamed the love hormone. It's the same chemical that surges in a mother holding her baby, or in you when you cuddle someone you adore. And here's the truly wonderful part, my friends. Studies suggest that when you and your dog interact lovingly, both of your oxytocin levels go up, his and yours. So that lick isn't just him loving you, it's a loop of love flowing in both directions. You are, quite literally, chemically bonded to your best friend. The second message is about respect and social order. Sometimes a dog will lick as a gesture of what we call appeasement, a polite, submissive little signal that says, "You're the leader. I respect you. I'm not a threat." You'll often see this paired with a lowered head, a soft body, maybe a slightly tucked tail. It's not fear, and it's not weakness. It's your dog being a good, polite member of the family, checking in and keeping the peace. It's actually a sign of a healthy, secure relationship. And then there's the third message, and this one always makes pet parents laugh when I explain it. Sometimes, he just thinks you taste good. I'm serious. Dogs have an incredible sense of taste and smell, and your skin, after a workout, after cooking, after a long day, is covered in salt, in tiny traces of food, in your own unique scent. To your dog, you are a walking, delicious, endlessly interesting flavor experience. So when he licks your arm after you've been to the gym, he's not necessarily pouring out his soul. He might just be enjoying the snack that is you. Now, but Dr. Tony, I can hear you saying, how do I know which one it is? Love, respect, or salt? Here's the simple tip. Look at the whole dog, not just the tongue. Loving licks come with a loose, wiggly, relaxed body and soft eyes. Respectful licks come with a lowered, calm posture. And you taste good licks are usually focused, methodical, and aimed at one specific spot, like they've found a target and they're working it. Read the body and the message becomes clear. Here's how you respond. For loving licks, reward that beautiful bond with gentle affection, just like we talked about. For appeasement licks, stay calm and reassuring, never harsh, so your dog knows he's safe with you. And for the salty snack licks, it's completely fine to gently redirect with a chew toy or a simple, all done. No shame in setting that boundary. But my vet warning here is about your response, not the lick. Please, please, do not punish or yell at your dog for licking. I've seen it, and it breaks my heart. When you punish a dog for a gesture that means love or trust, you don't stop the behavior. You just teach your dog that reaching out to you leads to fear. You damage the very bond you're trying to protect. If you want the licking to slow down, we redirect gently. We never punish, always. We're covering a lot. Rez, go ahead and grab a sip of water, because this next part is vital. Because up until now, everything's been sweet, but not every lick is happy. Now let's move to Chapter 3, the stress and anxiety signals, and how to tell them apart. But what if the licking isn't love at all? What if your dog is trying to tell you he's not okay? This is where being an educated pet parent truly matters, because this is a signal most people miss completely. Here's the science in plain words. Licking is also a self-soothing behavior. When a dog feels stressed, nervous, or overwhelmed, the physical act of licking can actually calm his nervous system down a little. It releases those same soothing brain chemicals. So a dog who is anxious may start licking you, or licking himself, or even licking the air, the floor, the couch, as a way to manage feelings he doesn't have words for. It's the canine version of a person biting their nails or wringing their hands. So how do you tell a stress lick from a love lick? Context and body language. Watch for these signs happening at the same time as the licking. A stiff or hunched body, ears pinned back, yawning when he's not tired, lip licking his own nose over and over, showing the whites of his eyes. We call that whale eye. Panting when it's not hot, or pacing. If you see licking wrapped up in that kind of tense package, especially during thunderstorms, fireworks, when you're about to leave the house, or when a stranger comes over, that is not "I love you." That is, "I'm scared and I'm trying to cope." Here's exactly what to do, and it costs you nothing. First, identify the trigger. What's happening in the environment right before the licking starts? Second, create a safe space. Give your dog a quiet, cozy spot, a crate with a blanket over it, or a corner bed away from the chaos, where he can retreat. Third, stay calm yourself, because your energy travels straight down the leash and into your dog. And here's a wonderful free tool. Gentle, slow, long strokes down his body, paired with a soft, low voice. Long strokes are calming. Fast, patting, excited touch is stimulating. So when your dog is anxious, slow everything down. And here's a professional vet tip for the anxious ones. You can create a calming routine using things you already have. A frozen treat can work wonders. Take a little plain, unsweetened, xylitol-free peanut butter, smear it thinly inside a rubber toy or on a lick mat, and freeze it. The long, repetitive act of licking that treat actually soothes your dog's nervous system from the inside out. It gives that anxious energy a healthy place to go. But now for my most serious vet warning yet, and I need you to really hear me. If your dog's anxious licking is constant, if he is licking himself raw, creating bald spots or red, angry sores, especially on his paws or legs, or if the anxiety is severe every single day, Please do not try to manage that alone with peanut butter and a cozy blanket. That level of distress needs a real veterinary exam. Because obsessive licking can be a sign of true anxiety disorders, or it can be a sign of something physical, like pain or allergies. Which brings me perfectly to our next and most important chapter. So take a breath, because this is the one I need every single person watching to understand. Chapter 4. The Medical Red Flags. The moment licking stops being psychology and starts being medicine. But what if the licking isn't about his mind at all? What if his body is trying to tell you something is wrong, and licking is the only language he has to say it? My friends, this is the chapter that saves lives, so stay with me. Here's the core idea. Dogs can't tell us where it hurts. They can't say, my tooth aches, or my stomach feels sick, or my skin is on fire. So instead, they show us. And one of the ways they show us is through licking. A sudden change in licking behavior is one of the most overlooked early warning signs in all of veterinary medicine. Let me give you the specific patterns to watch for, and I want you to write these down. First, excessive licking of one specific spot on his own body. If your dog is fixated on licking a single paw, a joint, his belly, or his rear end, that is a giant red flag. That could mean pain in that area, an injury, a skin infection, allergies, or irritated anal glands. Dogs lick what hurts. Second, constant lip licking, swallowing, or grass eating, combined with licking surfaces, the floor, the walls, the carpet. Observe, respond, escalate. That's it. That's the whole masterclass in 3 words. And you know what? The very fact that you made it all the way to this point in the video tells me everything I need to know about you. You didn't click away, you grabbed the pen. You wanted to understand your best friend on a deeper level, not because anyone made you, but because you love him. Do you understand how rare that is? Most people never bother to learn the language their dog is speaking to them every single day. But you did, and that little wet nose, that wiggly body, that tongue on your hand, that dog trusts you and loves you more than he could ever say. And now, finally, you can hear what he's been saying all along. You are, truly, the best pet parent in the world.